David marries Michal. Saul said to David, "Behold, my elderly daughter Merib. I will give her to you as my wife. Only be vigilant for me, and fight for the battles of the Lord." For Saul said, "Let not my hand be against him, but let the hand of the Philistines be against him." But David said to Saul, "Who am I, and what is my life, or my father's family in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king?" So when it was time that Merib, daughter of Saul, should have been given to David, she was given to Edro the Mediterranean for wife. Now Michal, daughter of Saul, loved David, and they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. Saul said, "I will give her to him, that she may be a snare to him, and so that the hand of the Philistines may be against him." Therefore Saul said to David for a second time, you be my son-in-law today." Saul commanded his servants, saying, "Speak to David in secret, saying, listening to the king's delights in you, and all his servants love you. Now therefore become the king's son-in-law." So the servant of Saul spoke these words in the ears of David, and David said, "Does it seem to you a light thing to be a king's son-in-law? Seems that I am a poor man and slightly esteemed." And the servant of Saul reported to him, saying, "According to these words David spoke to Saul, thus will you say to David, the king in any desires any dowry but a human's dredge foreskins on the Philistines to be avenged of the king's enemy." But Saul thought to make David fall by the hands of the Philistines. When his servants told David these words in plea, David was to be king's son-in-law. Now these days had not expired. Therefore David arose and went, he and his men, and killed 200 men of the Philistines. Then David brought their foreskins and gave them in full to the king, that he might be the king's son-in-law. And Saul gave him Michal, his daughter-in-law, for a wife. When Saul saw and knew what the Lord was with David, and that Michal, his daughter, loved him, Saul was yet more afraid of David, and Saul became the enemy of David continually. The commanders of the Philistines went out to make war against. When they went out, David was more successfully than all the servants, and Saul saw that his name was highly honored.